Hey, trance family. Welcome to the fifth video in our series where we're putting together an uplifting trance track for 2025. Something modern, something driving, and something nice. So, in the last video, we put together our acid sounds and drum fills, and can't remember what else we did. I guess we put some drives in there and sort of just added more to the drive aspect of the track and the overall sort of energy. And in this video, I want to continue to add to that energy by working on the atmosphere, specifically the pads, and putting in just a few of these atmosphere samples that you find in these packs just to fill out that space and create some. I think that space, which again helps with the inspiration of coming up with the ideas and everything for this track. At least that's how it works for me. So let's hear what we ended with last time and go from there. And I did just make a few adjustments in my downtime, so it doesn't sound exactly like the last video, but let's give it a quick listen. Okay, so I think you guys get the idea. So let's go ahead and dig through some of these atmosphere effects and see what we can find. Okay, so here's the atmosphere sounds that I ended up picking. I think that's pretty cool in the beginning. And then this sort of vocal atmosphere. And I ended up putting a gate on it. And this is a great free plugin. It's called Kilohertz Trance Gate. Gives it a nice rhythmic effect. Okay. So let's put that stuff into the track and see how it sounds. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I think I want to make this only come in for a short sort of pulse here. So let me get the rhythm right. Let me play the thing. Something like that. I can kind of hear the vocals popping in. Okay, and then we're gonna sort of loop that pattern there. So one thing I've kind of learned is that we don't need the sample, like the full sample all the time. It's good enough just to kind of have the sample play through. And I think I'm going to send this sample through the uh, one of these reverbs, or sorry, delays. We're going to send it through the quarter delay. Maybe we can put this back in over here. I'm definitely going to dive back into this, especially when we reach the breakdown section and the supersaw area and things like that. But for the intro, this is good enough. I'm happy with this. I feel like the track is moving. Next thing I want to talk about is the chorded section, which we have over here. So with this section, we can start writing the pads at least that are going to go over here. And all right, so we're going to pull up Spire and start working on our pads here. Okay, so we found a nice pad patch. We're going to go ahead and put some notes in and just sort of do a straightforward chord pattern. So I think the chords. Okay, and so we've got our basic, very, very basic chord progression. And so it's just following our bass line, super basic triads. And again, we're just going to put it through a filter. And we can try playing with the voicing on this. Maybe put this up here an octave. And then bring that down. Bring that up. So I actually really like that. So yeah, we're gonna mess with the octave placement. And let's make sure we edit some of the mod wheel in there. Perfect. Okay. And then the other thing we can do is add a bass pad in there. So that sounds pretty nice. We can even put the vocal atmosphere we had in there earlier. So we put our bass pad in there, and let's hear what that sounds like. So here's the bass pad. So if you don't have a big system or a big enough speaker, you're probably not even going to hear that. But as long as you have some kind of big speaker or headphones or something, you should hear a nice bass, warm bass pad in there. And we're going to put the regular pad too. Okay, so we'll save the bass pad for later. Now we have our chords. And what we're going to do as well is make a version of this pad for this section that is sort of going to be more drawing out the first note here. All right, now let's listen to the pad. I just put it into the main part of the track, and let's listen to it come in right here, and we'll edit the automation on the mod wheel a little bit and call it a day. Thank you guys for checking out today's video. The next video, we're going to focus on adding different kinds of plucks to this track. So things like pluck runners and chorded plucks, and what else? Just like lead plucks and melodic layers and things like that. So we're just going to kind of play around with a bunch of synth patches and see what we come up with and go from there. All right. Hey, see you guys in the next video.